Welcome to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. In this segment, Pat and James talk about reining in the scope of new projects, from the exciting ideal to the satisfying achievement.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Pat.
Oh, yes, James.
I've got a great time-saving idea for the merch store that you've been working on for us.
Oh, the merch store that's been up and running for months now? Yes?
That's how many products?
Oh, fuck, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean,
I,
because you can get any product you want with the logos on it. So probably that I've actually done, mock-ups for and stuff, probably 30 products,
30
aprons.
so here's my brilliant idea.
Yeah,
Let's do just one.
one product.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
focus on just one.
Oh. Well, thanks for that, James. Where were you when we were talking about the merch store? And I said, hey, they got hats, aprons, mugs, mouse pads. They even have curtains, shower curtains. And you're like, wow, great. The
Yeah,
time to
well,
say, let's
you
focus
know,
on one would have been then.
well, my eyes were, we get so excited by these things,
I
and
know,
you
we do.
think about like, oh, the tote bag,
Tote
and
bag.
oh, the backpack, and
Yeah.
oh, the this, and oh, the that. And how many hours did you spend on that?
I probably logged it because I'm anal that way. But I'm gonna say over the course of the time I started working on the merch store late 2024 to when we launched it in maybe May, April, May 2025, probably 2 to 3 hours, some weeks, other weeks an hour. I'm gonna say at
Mhm.
least probably 20 to 40 hours, somewhere in that ballpark, which is a time I don't really have. I mean, GU is a hobby. It's
Right.
not a money-making venture. So, yeah,
Yeah, and so, I guess what we really want to talk about here, and we're sidling up to, is that lessons were learned.
yeah.
And I think one of the lessons is that when you have limited capacity, but you want to put something out, a product into the world, and be careful that you don't sort of let your eyes get bigger than your plate or your,
Yeah.
you know, and so the thing that we hit on is, wow, you know what? Instead of trying to open an entire store, we should have just opened a product
I
and
think, yeah.
continued to build. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Well, when you said, what if we just did one or two things, immediately I was like, that would have been a great idea. Let's just do totes or let's just do mugs. Like let's pick one thing and just sell that. And if people want something else, they can just email
Right.
and say, you know what, I'd love to have a hat instead of a tote or something. And then we can make that
Yeah.
one happen. But yes, I think this is a 2020 hindsight situation, which most of my life is, and the hindsight part, the lesson is to, when we say a merch store, question the premise. What is a store? It doesn't need to
Mhm.
have 100 products. It can have one thing. So
Right.
that was, we started on the merch with weird things that weren't sellable, like coasters, beer
Mhm.
coasters and stickers and things like that, things to sort of spread the word. And then when we went into the idea of selling maybe clothing or something else, I automatically went forward with what the vendor offered, in which is all of these platforms that do print on demand. They offer everything on every kind of object you can imagine. And so I was just like, ooh, mug, that's cool. Ooh, apron, that's cool. Um, but if I had stopped early on and questioned the premise that it needs to be a full-on store and that it could just be one logoed product that you sell for, $5 or whatever,
Mhm.
it would have saved me hundreds and um,
Yeah.
well, not hundreds of hours because I just said it probably took me 40, but it would have saved me a lot of time. And it would
Yeah.
have also probably been a lot easier to promote, to give to guests, because,
Mhm.
uh, so if you're listening to this and you're a gifted achiever who's appeared on the podcast, expect whatever we pick in the mail at some point in the next 10 to 15 years, because it could take that long.
Yeah. So, wait by the mailbox because it is coming in 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. And you got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Not. Okay, so that's one lesson learned. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I totally agree. I think one of the things that we consistently find is that we get really excited about doing something for
Yeah.
the podcast, whether it's marketing or merch or really just about anything, that we get so excited by our idea and our desire and want and curiosity that we make it a bigger scale and scope than what we really have time for. And so this idea of, yes, find things that excite you, but then scale it back,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing I would ask is how would you compare the experience of that? Like, so you have your pleasure journal, you have your courses, you have other products that you're putting out in the world.
Yeah.
And so, given that, I would say wealth of experience, what are some of the things that you've learned from that?
To be specific, I think is the best, the first thing.
Hmm.
So it's a guided journal to help amplify how you notice and enjoy and experience pleasure in your life. That's its only purpose. It doesn't do anything else. So it's easier to promote because that's all it does. Same with the courses. When I teach developmental editing for fiction through Editorial Arts Academy, that's all it's teaching. It's not a course on how to write or do anything like that. Obviously, it's good for writers to know what editors do,
Uh-huh.
but so it's to be specific is number one, and number two is to determine the audience. Let the potential audience match your expenditure of time and effort. The capacity you have to do these things like any kind of product or sort of merchandise, if you want to call a course merchandise, which it is. You have a certain amount of capacity for it, unless you switch your business model, which I'm actually thinking of doing. Um, but use that capacity to do one specific thing after another, and you will get where you need to go.
Okay. Yeah. So, first step for a long walk, you know,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And when you're talking, I was kind of thinking, and this is it. We'll close out on this because this is quick. But it's like engineering, right? If anything mechanical, if the simpler you can make it, the more effective it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for
All
asking,
right.
James. And we
Oh,
will arrive at that one product. We'll have a little chin wag.
yeah. Absolutely.
Namaste.
Thanks for listening to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. We'd love to hear how we're doing, so please leave a comment, join our chat page, or send us an email at giftedunderachievers@substack.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere else you like to download podcasts. Thanks, and have an awesome day.